on. Someone is getting the questions online.
There's a question, sir, about why sex is marriage.
Why is sex marriage? Sex is marriage because it is the only union that is unbreakable, that you cannot get away from it. If you fall out of love with your woman, sex will still bind you to her for the rest of your life. If you are absolutely in love with your woman, sex will bind you to her for the rest of your life. Sex takes away any importance of your feelings. Why? Because if you have sex with her and you get her pregnant, she is in your life forever. If you have sex with her and she gives you a disease, or you give her a disease, then that will kill you. It will affect your life forever. Sex has repercussions that nothing else in life can match the repercussions of sex. It's so permanent. As opposed to what? This world believes that marriage is what? A marriage license. A marriage license that you go to the justice of the peace, you sign it, and then next week you sign a what? A divorce decree. And it ends the marriage. You give me two brothers. You give me one brother who has a marriage license with a woman. Then give me another brother who has a baby with a woman and no marriage license. Which one is more tied to that woman? Who can answer the question? You want to give it a shot? Bring it down. Huh?
The one that had the baby with the woman.
The one that has the baby with the woman. He's the one that is tied to her forever. He's the one that's going to go to jail when he doesn't pay his child support. He's the one that is getting HIV. He's the one that's getting chlamydia. He's the one that's going to have his life ruined or his life blessed. You do me a favor, so watch enough. I need my tablet out of that bag in the car. Okay. He's the one that is going to have his life blessed forever or cursed forever because of the sex he had with her. Because, of course, you get babies from sex, and you get venereal diseases from sex. Life and death come from sex. What comes from a marriage license? Two LGBT people can get a marriage license right now today. A marriage license is nothing. It's a financial agreement that you can make and break. It means absolutely nothing at all. Everyone understands. Now give me the precepts proving that sex is marriage. What officer knows where they are? Who bought it for the drink up? Any officer? Give me Adam and Eve first. Right? That's the first couple in the truth, Adam and Eve. Give me when Adam knew his wife. When Adam knew Eve. It's in the book of Genesis. Okay, the brothers is outside. They can come in, all right? Go ahead. You need my help? I'll get it for you. 1 second. While you're finding that, I almost forgot. Un momento. Estoy muy feliz de estar contigo en Florida. Un momento por anuncios. What you're looking for is Adam knew Eve, all right? Let me read these for you right a second, all right? Mi nombre es General Mahayaman. Soy tu hermano y estos son los anuncios. Somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos en 1 Oeste Calle 125, Harlem, Nueva York. Desde 1969, debajo del comando de el General YAHANNA. Carnales, esta es la verdad. Si tú eres latino, negro o indio nativo, tú eres Israel, el pueblo elegido Dios. Tu madre y tu padre dicen que somos un culto y mantienen su iglesia sin culpa, pero su iglesia tiene toda la culpa de lo que nos está pasando. All right, let's get it on. Clap it up. All right. go live on the TikTok for me. The brothers were telling me I gotta get it on. There you go. Take it. You can do it. I don't know. You just told me to buy this thing and go up on it. I don't know. But if you want to do it over there, just tell me what you need.
I'm not sure if I can do it with that.
Okay, let me see. I know how to do it with this at least. They didn't cancel my account again. Cancel it every week. You got another question? I believe that. Oh, I gotta find the precept for you, right? Stand by. Let me hear that one.
Kind of concept. The Salaki said Genesis 4:1, and Adam knew Eve, his wife.
1 second. And with me, there was one in Genesis 3. Hold on. Okay, let me give you one preset. What do you have? I think you might have just said it just now. Go ahead.
So like you said, Genesis 4:1.
I don't believe it could be there. I think that's too far away. Let me just double check you, all right? Yeah, there you go. Go ahead, read that. Genesis 4:1.
Sir. Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve.
And Adam knew what? Nice and loud, warrior, all right? Read that again.
And Adam knew Eve.
And Adam did what?
Adam knew Eve.
When you read the word "knew," like know or knowledge in the Old Testament, it means carnal knowledge, which means you've seen her private parts. You've seen the intimate side of her that no one else sees. And the Bible calls that knowing a woman. Do you understand? Because that's another thing that only sex can do, man. You have sex with a woman, you've seen her in a way that no one else should have. That's for damn sure. You've seen a part of her that no one else should see. You've been intimate with her. The Bible says that Adam knew Eve. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. His wife.
His what?
His wife.
His what?
His wife.
When was the ceremony? Who was the preacher that did the service? Huh? Who threw the rice? How was she his wife? How could that be possible? With no white judge to tell them they're allowed to love each other. How could that be his wife? How could Eve have been Adam's wife? I know how, because he knew her. That's what made her his wife. Everyone understands. This is all over the Bible, but of course, this is the first marriage. Christ said in the beginning, two shall become one, and none shall make asunder. That's in the Bible, brother. That's how a man and a woman become one. Right? From that day forward, whatever's wrong with you is wrong with her. Whatever's wrong with her is wrong with you. That's what happens. Sex both takes life and it gives life. The marriage license is, nothing. Everyone understands. That's all I can do. Anything else? Any other questions so I can get into this topic here? You up on a thing to give me the questions, right? Okay.
So
Do me a favor, push this bottle, grab me that bottle right there.
Concept. This one.
Yes, please. Go ahead, Doc, you got a question?
Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Christians like to say Abraham celebrated his birthday when he had his son.
Okay. No problem. Whenever you're ready, let's read it. Is there another question? Any questions in the room? I'll take those now as well.
I have a question online, sir.
Go ahead, Doc. The brother's finding that. Go ahead.
I believe they said, I just lost it. Forgive me, sir.
Someone give me a book so I can prop this thing up here. Go ahead, Warren.
Come on, sir.
It's in Genesis 21, chapter 21, verse 8.
Mhm.
And the child grew and was weaned, and Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned. Salami, sir. Christians like to say that was like a birthday.
How? I mean, how could it be a birthday? Where's the word birth or day? Right there. Let me tell you, so many Christians, brother, when you're young in the truth, oh, they'll do that to you all the time. Right? And what you got to do is put a Christian on the offensive. Like Christians, on the defense. So many times when you're young in the truth, I remember doing this, Sock, where you feel the need that you have to prove that birthdays are wrong. You have to prove Christmas is wrong. What you want to learn is to put them on the defense by you going on offense. You make them prove that celebrating a birthday is correct. Is this the precept? Well, there's only one thing missing, the birthday. Where is that? Read it one more time.
Genesis chapter 21, verse 8. And the child grew.
The child did what?
And the child grew.
Well, we got to start right there, right? So I'm fine. You can wrap it up. I'll take it with me, sister. I appreciate it. And the child grew. Is this the day the child was born? No. The child grew. Go ahead.
And was weaned.
And was what?
And was weaned.
Who knows what the term wean means? Anyone? Go ahead up.
It means when he's done giving suck.
When he's done suckling from his mother's breast, drinking breast milk. Well, now he can eat solid food. Go ahead.
And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Was what?
Was weaned.
Was born?
Was weaned.
The same day he was born.
Was weaned.
Does it say the same day he was born?
Was weaned.
It says weaned, which means he had a feast the same day that he began to eat solid food. He had a feast. Did it say he did it every year on his weaning day? No, it doesn't say that. You can have a party for any damn reason you feel like having a party. You get my point? You can say, oh, my son is eating chicken now. Congratulations, young brother. You're eating chicken. Here's a party. Of course, you don't have to have it every year. You could just have a party. You could have a party because you just feel like having a party. You get my point? Celebrating your birthday or your child's birthday is a Roman custom that makes your child or you a god every day. A god a god the day you were born, which is what life is about here in America, just like Rome. You have Thor's birthday. Thor, you celebrate Thor once a week. That's Thursday. Right. Thursday is named for the god Thor. Right. Wednesday is named for the god Wednesday or Odin. Right. Odin is the day that we celebrate Odin. Freya is another god. We celebrate him on Friday. We celebrate, of course, the sun god on your mama's favorite day, Sunday. Right? We celebrate the moon god on what day? Monday. And then you get your day on your birthday. We celebrate Janus in January. We celebrate February in February. We celebrate Saturn. We celebrate March. March is the god of war, Mars. Everyone gets a birthday, including you. That's a Roman custom. It's against the law because the Lord God said, thou shalt have no gods but one. You're not allowed to be a god. And frankly, you're too damn old to still do that. A lot of you are too old to still be wearing that stupid hat and cutting a cake. You're 57 years old. Sooner or later, you got to stop. You should stop acting like a perpetual child all the time. Everyone understands. And you're teaching your child a terrible lesson, man. Birthdays and Christmas teach children a horrible lesson. Oh, you should go into that airport, brother. Go, listen, you're going to go into the airport on Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, and people are going to be fist fighting in there. Right. Or go into some store right about now, in Walmart or some store, and you're going to see people beating each other's heads in to celebrate the birth of the baby Jesus. They're going to knock each other's teeth out of their mouth. Christmas teaches selfishness. Birthday parties and birthday celebrations teach selfishness. Those days tell your child, you're the most important thing in the world. Nothing matters more than you. Right. And your child is going to remember that. And then he's going to punch someone in the face so he can get those sneakers he's wearing, that gold chain he's wearing, the wallet in his pocket should go to your son. Your daughter is going to think that she should have that boyfriend, that she should have those breasts, that she should have that attention in school from those boys. Christmas and birthdays teach a terrible lesson to you and to your children, and sooner or later, someone should grow up. Everyone understands. Right here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother. Let me get this brother right here. Go ahead.
So, when like a lot of people, when you come into the truth, a lot of people feel like they can't get you no gifts anymore because you don't celebrate birthdays. So they don't get your kids nothing.
Right.
But it's like how you saying here, like Abraham celebrated it off of the child being weaned.
Yeah.
So if you were to throw an event off of your child, maybe let's say your child went 5 years not speaking, something like that. Now your child's speaking and he's getting out of some remedial class or whatever like that.
Can I stop you for a second?
Okay.
Was Shawoy Yalla, I sent you a Christmas of was given to the brother. He can just read it if he has it. All right. Just stand by. I'll get you with that in 1 second. Continue, please.
Yeah. So like if you got a bun that's like, you know, made a major achievement, he wasn't speaking, now he's speaking.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to rally around it. You could throw an event for something like that based on this scripture.
Yes, you could.
Okay.
You could throw an event because he graduated, the 5th grade,
right.
Kindergarten, high school, college, med school, law school. You absolutely could have a party for your child just because he's a good boy. And absolutely, if your child had some illness and they weren't speaking, and then they begin to speak, you absolutely could throw a party for your child. Let me blow your mind one step further. The child's grandparents could just hand the child gifts because they love him.
Right.
It really doesn't even have to be an event.
Right.
You understand? You could just, if your mother is saying, well, I can't give him any gifts because it's not Christmas, hand me the gift. Give it to me. Give it to me in February. Give me the gift. Just hand it to me right now. In the middle of the summer. You want to buy my son something, hand it over. Where's that? You know what you'll find out, though, is that they really don't love their grandchildren. They love Christmas. Right. That's what you'll find out because, of course, grandmom could just say, listen, it's September 2nd. I'm bringing some toys over there for those kids.
Right.
That's it. Why? For nothing. Because I love them and they're my grandbabies. She's not doing that. Do you understand? Because she doesn't love those grandbabies. She loves the traditions of the world. Give me that precept. Let me tell you, so many people, how can I describe this to you in a way you can understand? The reason that people love Christmas is because Christmas is tied to generosity and kindness and giving. And people are going to give turkeys to the homeless. You know about that, right? They're going to give gifts down there to the kids in foster care. People will just be so generous this time of year. And that generosity makes you love Christmas. That generosity doesn't make you love people. Or else we wouldn't murder each other, unalive each other every day and sell drugs to each other and molest each other's children and sleep with each other's wives. It doesn't make us love one another, these acts of kindness that are done every year, this time of year. Those acts of kindness make you love this time of year. But it doesn't make you love the people that you're doing those acts for. Let me show it to you in history if you don't mind. Read what you have there, warrior, please.
It was a public holiday celebrated.
A what?
A public holiday.
A public holiday, meaning everyone celebrated this holiday. Go ahead.
Celebrated around December 25th.
Around what?
December 25th.
Around December 25th. Go ahead.
In the family home.
And where?
In the family home.
Okay, so all of the people, the public, you went into their homes, they're celebrating this day around December 25th. Go ahead.
A time for feasting.
A time for what?
Feasting.
You see, the feasting, all of the food that they have on Christmas. That food doesn't make you love the people you're eating with, or else your uncle would not have molested you because you go to Christmas dinner with him, right? Or else your cousins wouldn't have snitched on you and shot you and stole your sneakers, right? They would love the people that they feast with every year. They do not. They love the feast. They love Christmas, not the people they're with on Christmas. Well, here's the holiday right here, December 25th. People feast. Keep going.
Goodwill.
What?
Goodwill.
Goodwill. You heard that term before. Goodwill for all men. Right? Everyone is happy for each other. Everyone wants to give. You go to your job. Oh my God, forget about those jobs. You go to the job, everybody's having a potluck and handing out gifts to everybody on the job. And you think, boy, this job must love me. You're getting fired next week.
Right.
They're laying you off.
Right.
They don't love you on the job. They want you to love Christmas. They want you to love this time of year. Continue.
Generosity.
Generosity. The job is going to give you some type of bonus. Oh, am I getting a Christmas bonus? Oh, am I getting a bonus? All of the goodness in life has to be crammed into this day, where there's none left for every other day of the year.
Right.
There's no kindness. There's no generosity. There's no goodwill. Why does all love and kindness have to be crammed into today? So that you can love this day and never love one another. Well, this went on before. December 25th, kindness, goodwill, feasting, keep going.
Generosity to the poor.
To the what?
To the
Oh my
poor.
God, it has to be, the baby Jesus makes you want to give to the poor people,
Right.
the homeless people, and the people sleeping outside. Merry Christmas, little guy. Tiny Tim and all of the orphans. Oh man, the people really are good to one another, aren't they? They're not. They're cruel to each other, evil to one another, but they love this day. They don't love people, they love this day. Continue.
The exchange of gifts.
What, say that again?
The exchange of
My
gifts.
God, this sounds very familiar. And they exchange gifts. They're generous, they're kind, they're loving, they feast. Keep going.
And the decoration of trees.
Of what again?
Of trees.
I'll say that one more time.
Of trees.
And they decorate trees. December 25th, kindness and love and goodwill to everyone. And a tree decoration. Continue.
But it wasn't Christmas.
Say that again.
But it wasn't Christmas.
One more time.
But it wasn't Christmas.
See this, we're not talking about Christmas. Because this was done way before Christmas. Keep going.
This was Saturnalia.
Saturnalia. Everything that we do that we think is about the sweet baby Jesus in a manger was done for Saturn, the god Saturn, which is what that planet is named after in the solar system. The god Saturn. And they had a tree that they decorated. It was on December 25th. And they were so nice to you too. Do you understand? We think that niceness comes from Jesus. It doesn't. That kindness is good Christian kindness. It is not. They did the exact same thing to worship the god Saturn. You want to look up Saturn, you can look that up real fast. Saturnalia was the day when you worshiped the god Saturn. Why? Because it came from the worship of a god Nimrod who was around before Saturn. And he was born on December 25th. That was his birthday, December 25th. And when he died in a war, his mother had his body buried under an evergreen tree. And she said that my son's body is in the tree. My son's soul is in the tree. You ever see those big Christmas trees that they set up like in City Hall or in Washington, D.C.? That was the practice. The original practice was a giant tree that everyone in the town would come to worship. They would make a circle around it and sing to it. And they had to put wealth and money under that tree. And then Nimrod's mother would come and scoop up all the money. Well, that practice went on and on. Then the god Saturn, then the Romans came, and they just continued the same practice of worshiping the tree. Give me Jeremiah 10:1.
So like you said, if I may, I have the Satanic Bible on birthdays. You want it?
Of course.
This is the Satanic Bible by Anton Levine. The highest of all holidays in the satanic religion is the date of one.
Leave idol and they make him a man. Now you worship him like Saturn.
Right.
Now Saturn is a man you have to worship. March is a man. April is another goddess. April. May is for the goddess Maya. Right. And all those days are their birthdays or months set up to celebrate them. And you can't do the same thing to yourself. That's what a birthday is. Well, now you're the God today. Now you have to get everything you want. And of course, brother, you know what your woman is going to want to do on her birthday, right? Go to a club and whore out of every hole. Excuse me, children. Why? And when she does it, you know what she'll say? When she has too much to drink and she gets high, she'll say, well, you know, it's my birthday. I had to do it, you know. Blame it on alcohol. No, if I was you, I wouldn't go for that. Everyone understands. You brothers would be wise to choose a better woman any damn way. You'd be very wise to choose better when you go to choose a woman. Like whoever asked the question earlier online, how do I know sex is marriage? I know sex is marriage because once you have sex with a woman, she destroys your life. Right. I know sex is marriage because once a sister has sex with a man, he destroys her life. Right. I know sex matters. I know it's important. Because your life ain't ruined because of a piece of paper. Your life has been ruined since you were 13. How many times have you had a marriage license since you're 13? Huh? A lot of you ain't never had a marriage license. Right. But you got 5 kids. And you've been in jail 3 times over her or over him. And you've been shot over her or over him. And your car has been wrecked. And your house has been wrecked over her or over him. And you never had a marriage license. I still got to teach you which one is important? I'm still doing that. Where'd that baby come from? A contract? Huh? Right. I should be able to move on off this topic. Continue. Everybody gets it. That's Saturday. You need Jeremiah 10:1. Does anyone in here not know about the Christmas tree? Is everyone online? Do you know about the Christmas tree, sisters? You're familiar with the Christmas tree. It's in the Bible. Brothers, y'all know about the Christmas tree, correct? It's in Jeremiah 10:1. I'll pass on that for time's sake, all right then? Give me the traditions of men. Please, Warrior.
This is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you.
Beware. What does beware mean? Meaning be careful, watch out, be aware, look out, beware lest any man spoil you. What does it mean to be spoiled? To be spoiled is Old English for like they took you, they hustled you. That's when somebody spoils you. Beware lest any man spoil you. Keep going.
Through philosophy.
Through what?
Philosophy.
Through philosophy. Philosophy is religion. You know, the baby Jesus in a manger, and none of that story is true. All of that nonsense is a lie. It was not like that truly in the Bible. And all of that mess with the 3 wise men coming. I don't know if y'all even know those stories like they would tell us when we was kids. But it's all a ridiculous lie and nonsense. And it has nothing to do with the sweet baby Jesus. And they were putting those trees up for thousands of years before Jesus Christ was born. Continue.
And vain deceit.
And do what? And philosophy and what?
Vain deceit.
And vain. What does the word vain mean? Nothing. What is a deceit? A lie. A lie. That somehow this tree has something to do with Jesus. And no one even asked, how? What does this tree have to do with Jesus? Any more?
After the traditions of men.
After what?
The tradition of men.
That's what they love. That's why your grandparents won't give the child a damn anything, a loaf of bread, unless it's Christmas. That's why. Because they love the tradition. They do not love the child. You do not need an occasion to give a child something. You don't need an occasion to do it. You feed the thing every damn day, don't you?
Right.
You got to have a special day to feed him something?
Right.
You can't just put a turkey in the oven any day you feel like doing it. Are you such a slave that the only time you can eat turkey is when you're given permission to eat turkey? The only time you can love a man is if he gives you a ring that he buys from someone Jewish. Is that it? Otherwise, you can't let him love you because he hasn't been to the store to buy you a ring. You can't let him love you because he hasn't had a contract from the government to give him permission to love you, which is where marriage license come from. Marriage license come from racism. You should go look that up one time. Marriage license come from them making sure that black people and white people could not be married.
Right.
That's the point. The marriage, they wanted you to get permission. Remember, you also couldn't have sex without being married. That was something that people acted as if they followed years ago. I'm talking a long time ago. Go ahead.
So, sir, I wanted to ask you about that. Of
Mhm.
course, they always talk about it. Now that you mentioned it,
Mhm.
right? You have to go get married, and the government made laws so that you could not marry white
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
Because they had something called white slavery.
Mhm.
What was that?
What was white slavery?
Yeah, white slavery, and their fear to that extent that they would be enslaved, and of course they made the laws.
Okay, I don't know about white slavery in that context. White slavery is usually what they would call an indentured servant, usually. But in this context, I'm not familiar with that.
Like what they charged the boxer for, or what have you, when he was trafficking.
Oh, okay, the Mann Act.
Yeah,
Okay, you're talking about the Mann Act was more like prostitution.
Mhm.
Was on the surface of it, meaning there was a law at one time called the Mann Act when if you took a woman across state lines for the purposes of sex, then they could charge you like you were a pimp. You understand?
Right.
Even if the sex was with you, it was like you took her across state lines for sex. So they considered the same thing as human trafficking, which is what they would call that today. They considered it the same thing. There was a famous boxer who took a white girl from her home, took her on the road with him, and he got arrested based on the Mann Act, which doesn't exist anymore. But a lot of those laws were just done to stop black men from fulfilling their desire to have sex with every white woman they found, right? And the marriage license. The marriage license was supposed to make sure that only the suitable people made children. So if you were sick, if you were what they used to call disabled, if you had a learning disability, you were not allowed to get a marriage license. You had to get a blood test. You had to go to the doctor so they could see if you were someone that was slow or someone that had a disability, they would not grant you a marriage license. And if you were black, you of course could not get a marriage license with someone who was not black. In the state of Mississippi, Alice Walker and her white husband were among the first people to get an interracial marriage license in 1967. Before that, it was illegal. Alice Walker, of course, went on to make one of the most evil books that the Lord ever allowed a woman to make, which is called The Color Purple, which is a heinously evil book because it promotes, what can I call this? It promotes alternative lifestyles among women. And this is what Alice Walker said. I'm going to bring that out tonight. This is not hyperbole from the UPK. This is the woman saying that was the point of the book. That was the reason to let everyone engage in lesbianism and to understand lesbianism and to show that lesbianism comes from trauma because she believed that it was a good cure for the trauma that these big black evil men did to you. This is from Alice Walker. She wrote the book. Steven Spielberg wrote a movie about it and didn't show half of the lesbianism that was in the book. I have the excerpt from the book. I'm reading it tonight, and I'm going to read what Alice Walker said about the book tonight. I'll answer a few, bro. I can play out while y'all shot. All right. So let's keep going with the questions for about a few more minutes. The brother in the back. You got it.
Can I get a breakdown of Romans chapter 7, verse 15 through 20, sir?
No problem.
Breakdown, please.
Go ahead. Is this just in general, right? Go ahead.
The book of Romans chapter 7, verse 15. For that which I do allow, for that which I
Give me one verse above it.
Sir. Romans 7 and 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal.
We know the law is spiritual, but I am carnal. Meaning the law does not satisfy your body. The law satisfies God. That's the difference between something that's spiritual and something that's carnal. Carnal means body, literally. Carnal means meat or flesh or carne or carnal, which all of that means my flesh, my body. You get my point. All right. So the law does not satisfy your body. The law is not about making your penis happy or your vagina happy or your stomach happy. It's about making the Most High happy. You understand? The law is spiritual, but I am carnal. I care about my stomach, my penis, my mind, my eyes. That's what I want to satisfy, and that's different than what the law wants. You understand? Continue.
Sold under sin.
So I'm carnal and sold unto sin. What does that mean? Just think. It's all poetic language that blacks and Latinos use. Sold unto sin. If you're sold to anyone, that person what? Owns you. You understand it? He owns you. Well, we're sold unto sin in carnality. Sin owns us. All we care about is what our stomachs want. I was talking to my rib today. I remember coming up in the Truth Arc, and this is a battle I had 1,000 times about pork. Are you telling me that if you were on a desert island with no food, you wouldn't eat a pig? You wouldn't? And we would always say, no, we would not. And for the life of me, now I'm watching the news today in Palestine. And those Palestinians, brother, is finding chicken from somewhere, finding pigeons. They're eating somehow in a Muslim country. And I think Christians are so sold to sin. I think Christians don't even know there's Muslim countries. And those Muslim countries are what? Poor out of your damn mind, in poverty, living in a dust hill, living in the desert, eating what? Lamb and chicken and fish. You understand? It's like in a Christian's mind, you have to eat pork if you're poor, as if there are not countries of poor Arabs and poor Muslims everywhere, and none of them eating pork. But you are so sold to sin in your mind, poverty just means I have to just eat, everything that crawls in front of me. And you don't. Poor people survive without eating pork in Muslim countries all over the world. Go turn the news on and see what's happening in Palestine right now. Continue.
Verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not.
For that which I do, I allow not. The things that I do, I don't want to do. I do them, but I don't want to do them. I mean, you understand that or no? Right? The thing that I do, I don't want to do, but I do it anyway. So what would that be? You want to try to understand this like understanding an addiction, right? If you ever smoked cigarettes or fought off, most of us have fought off some type of drug addiction to come into the truth, marijuana, weed, cocaine, or worse, right? You're going to do drugs and hate the fact that you do drugs. You hate it. You cry about it afterwards. You get sad. What do you tell yourself? I got to stop this. This is the last time. I'm letting this ruin my life. One day I'm going to quit this. You're getting high, but you hate it. That which I do, I don't want to do. That which I do, I allow not. I don't want to do this thing that I'm doing. Continue.
For what I would that I do, I not.
And the thing that I would like to do, I don't do. The thing I would like to do is spend money on something besides weed and drugs and cocaine. I'd love to buy a car and a house. I'd love to have a good life. I'd love to go see my children. But instead, what do? Buy cocaine. I'm telling you something you know well about. Everybody gets this. That's this. The thing that I do, I don't want to do. And that which I would do, I don't do. You understand? This is addiction. This is fighting your flesh. This is the war that goes on in every man, every woman when they want to change. The thing that you want to do, you're going to have to actually do it now. You know how you always wanted to get off of drugs? Now's the time to do it. You always wanted to stop smoking cigarettes, right? Now's the time to stop. You understand? Continue.
But what I hate, that I do.
I think you get that. I think you understand that. That thing I hate doing it. And yet I'm doing it again. Here I go again. Here I go doing this again. And I hate doing this. That's addiction. That's addiction. That's a demon. And he owns you. You understand?
Okay.
Anything else?
It's going down to 20.
If you need it, let me know what you need.
So like, sir, I was asking a question for somebody that wasn't here. They wanted to break down.
There you go. Anything else? Any other questions in the room? You got it up.
So like, sir, I got a question.
Can everyone hear him online? Can someone check online to see if they can hear the brothers and the sisters in the class? Sisters, if you have a question, don't be scared. Just ask the question, all right? Go ahead.
I got a question on Ecclesiasticus chapter 21 and verse 27.
All right.
Just a general breakdown, if I could.
No problem.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 21, verse 27. When the ungodly curseth Satan, he curseth his own soul.
Yeah. When the ungodly person is a wicked person. And when they curse Satan, they're cursing themselves. So what's the perfect example for that? Sunday morning church. I rebuke you, demon. That you're the demon. You. Like Christians in church talking about, rebuking Satan and evil, and they have to drive out evil. You're cursing yourself. Think about that man that stands up there. Did you hear about T.D. Jakes?
I just saw a video of Kirk Franklin twerking on one of his church members.
Kirk Franklin twerks, for a living, I think. I think he constantly twerks. I think that's his whole business, is a twerk machine. Think of the years T.D. Jakes and Kirk Franklin stand in front of people and rebuke that demon. And Satan has got to stop. And they go straight home and molest children. You're right. When you rebuke Satan, you're rebuking yourself. When you curse Satan, you're cursing your own soul because Satan is in you. Everybody understands. Anything else?
I have a question.
Let me see. Are we done here? Are we done here, Rob? Let me get the brother right here. You got it.
Slightly, sir. I got a question. In Numbers 23, it's about Balaam. Balaam was with the Midianites prophesying against Israel.
Yeah.
But it says in 23, 4 and 7, Most High is speaking through Balaam. So a brother wanted to know, was he a heathen? Was he doing it kind of like he did with
Balaam was not a heathen. Balaam was a wicked preacher who repented and refused to do this evil act. That's Balaam. That, in a nutshell, that's the whole thing. They wanted him to speak and to curse his people with the speech. Now, when most people read this, they think it's like magic, y'all gonna die, like a witch curses somebody. That's not what the scripture is talking about. They wanted Balaam to go and lie to his people and to get them to do something that would make them fall in the hands of the Moabites. Right? So you want to think preachers. You want to think Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King, back in 1968 or 69, cursed his people. He went to Washington, D.C. and said something that turned his people into deeper slaves to their oppressor. He said it. He went out there and did it. And he worked for the United Auto Workers of America, which is who funded the March on Washington. And he went there and said the thing that he had to say that would make his people fall to the so-called white man. Think of every preacher in every church. They stand up in front of a black congregation and tell them Jesus is white. That concept alone should be strange. Because, of course, if it's a black church, you would think they would all say Jesus is black, especially since it's in the Bible. They don't, because your preacher's job is to curse the black church, is to make them more subservient unto the other nations. The Moabites wanted Balaam to do that. Why? Because he had a gift to speak. He was a great orator like Martin Luther King, right? Like Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes, right? He had the gift, and they want him to use this gift to curse them. Why did the Moabites want him to do it? Because, of course, he would use his great gift to speak, and everyone would fall in order under the Moabites. That was the plan, but he refused. Everybody gets it. That's the breakdown, all right? Solid. Right here.
So can I get a breakdown of what the Christians call the fallen angel? And is it biblical?
I believe they usually are talking about the one in Jude. That's the usual one. Pull that one, I believe, in Jude. All right, fallen angel. For time's sake, I'll tell you. Oh, you got it, Warrior? Go ahead.
It's Jude chapter 1, verse 6.
Let the young brother read, all right? See me one more time with the chaser, please, whoever has it. Go ahead. Jude 1 and 6. Jude, what is that? The New Testament, right?
Just right before Revelation.
Right before Revelations.
The book of Jude.
Now,
The book of Jude, chapter 1, verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate.
That's what you need right there. And the angels which kept not their first estate. So now usually, of course, the word angel would confuse Christians because they don't know the Bible. The word angel means messengers, right? And there are angels that are celestial, that sit where the Most High sits. And then there are angels that are terrestrial. What I just said is in 1 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, right? There are bodies celestial and bodies terrestrial. The Israelites are the Most High's angels on this earth, on Caroline, on the earth. We're his angels. And what was our first habitation? The Garden of Eden. That was the first place that the Most High gave us to be our home. Keep going.
But left their own habitation.
But we left that habitation out. We left the Garden of Eden. Right now, there's a war in the Garden of Eden. That's where the war is right now. And that land that the Most High God gave us for our home, for where we live throughout the war, for our habitation. But we lost it. We left it. Keep going.
Oh, God. He hath reserved in everlasting chains.
He have done what?
Reserved in everlasting chains.
He have reserved these angels in everlasting chains. That should sound familiar to everyone, right? We are those angels. The Israelites are those angels. The everlasting chains are speaking about the curses that are tied around our necks to this day. To this day. Let me tell you what happened to me today. Now, today I'm driving around. I got into town today, right, from New York today. And so me and my rib are driving around, and we in this neighborhood, and we are like, my God, what neighborhood is this? This is a ridiculous neighborhood. And we driving around, all of a sudden, a cop car comes out of the gate and pins us off so we can't move. So we're looking like, what in the hell is going on? A Secret Service agent gets out the car with an AR-15, stops us, and then some devil was driving a bicycle. And the devil tried to go past him. He damn near shot this devil. And he's waiting. And so we're just sitting there waiting. And I'm staring at him, looking at him. And I see it says Secret Service on his shirt. And I said, hey, who you guarding? He said, a VIP. Just like that. I said, oh, okay, I guess he is. All of a sudden, Donald Trump comes out of this goddamn place. And I looked, I said, and it hit me. I'm at Mar-a-Lago. Right. And I'm thinking to myself, Secret Service, who could be in there? And the cat's face was like, he rolled his eyes like, a VIP. And I'm in front of Mar-a-Lago. He come out there in 2 black cars and leave out of there. And I go look up my phone, and there it is. Mar-a-Lago is right in front of me. Then I went to look up Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago, someone Google that real fast, what Mar-a-Lago is. And just read me what it says about Mar-a-Lago. All right? Whenever you get a chance. There's a history on it, the place, who gave, where it came from.
All right.
Yeah. You have a problem with it?
No.
This is the first one that comes up, we'll do.
All right, okay. All right, so Mar-a-Lago Club is a resort and National Historic Landmark in Palm Beach, Florida. You make sure. I was going to share it on the screen. So owned since 1985 by Donald Trump. Mar-a-Lago was built for businesswomen in socialite Marjorie Merriweather post.
Now, I don't know who the hell that is, but that's this woman who built this city. It's like a city. You brothers might have seen it before.
Right.
It's like a city, a town, and they call it a house, right? But it's a town. I mean, a villa. You got to see this thing. It's like the damn the Game of Thrones.
Right.
It's a castle. It's some giant castle, and it's like 2 miles of it. Keep going.
Between 1924 and 1927, during the 1920s, Florida land boom. During the 1920s, Florida land boom.
So the land boom was when the land people were down here snatching this land up from the brothers and sisters who used to own it under the Spanish, and they went and just started buying up all of this land in the 1920s. Keep going.
All right, I had to pull up the actual article. I was reading from Google.
Okay, if you want, I can finish it up for you. She went and built this town called Mar-a-Lago, right? It's a town. And then she sold it. In her will, she decided to give it to the United States government, right? So the federal government owned it for a while. Then the federal government gave it up because they could not keep up the maintenance on this place. The federal government. Then Donald Trump bought it. Go ahead.
He did that with the old post office building in
Yes, he
DC.
did. In DC, he did the exact same thing. His post office building made it up into a damn hotel. And then now this one man owns this town and complains constantly about how America is not great and needs to be great. Like when you go by this place, you go, what in the hell is his problem? He lives there. And he's constantly angry like America needs to be great like it used to be in the past. At the end of those speeches, he sleeps in that thing and drives in there that is like heaven in there. And the walls just keep going at this place. Go ahead.
I got more on it.
Please.
Donald Trump learned about the estate after unsuccessfully trying to purchase and combine 2 apartments in Palm Beach for his family. He offered the Post family $15 million for it, but they rejected it. Trump purchased the land between Mar-a-Lago and the ocean from Jack C. Macy, the former owner of KFC, for $2 million, stating he intended to build a home that would block Mar-a-Lago's beach view. The threat caused interest in the property to decline, and Trump ended up getting the property for $7 million.
Ooh, he's a snake. You would think he would have no complaints about America. You think he would say, well, listen, America is the greatest place on the planet. I live in Mar-a-Lago. This is the greatest country on the planet Earth. Instead, he's angry and bitter and hateful and resentful of this country that gave him that through all of his cheating. What does this prove of? That is 15 minutes from here, Mar-a-Lago. It's 15 minutes from where you're sitting. And when I told the woman at the hotel where I was going, she said, woo. That happened. I showed her the address. She said, oh, you going in the hood. I'm talking about this school right now. That's where we're sitting right now. She said, oh, you going in the hood. Because Mar-a-Lago is 15 minutes from here. 15 minutes. Do you understand that? We are in everlasting chains. Everlasting. Here we are still. Donald Trump is angry about how white people are doing in America. And he lives in Mar-a-Lago. You live in a place that no one would even drive down your street. No one would even go to where you live at all without having courage. That's a chain. It's tied around your neck. It's everywhere you go. Your father, your mother had the same chain. Your grandmother, your grandfather had the same burden. And here we are with that burden today. Everlasting darkness. Everyone gets it. Come on.
I wanted a little commentary on those 2 statements that he made this past week.
Forget about it. Where you get that from? Oh, I remember church.
Right.
That's where you get that from. It just came to me. Church teaches men that they are not allowed to be attracted to a woman, that it's wrong. Come on.
And then Kirk Franklin twerks.
And then Kirk Franklin twerks. Says, I don't know. The whole reason that your husband had sex with you is because he likes girls.
Right.
Right.
And you got to remember that. If he doesn't like girls, then of course he wouldn't like you because you're a girl, right? So he likes girls. So you know that about him. Because how? Because that's how he got you. Because he looks at girls and he's attracted to girls. It is not a sin to be attracted to a girl. That's not a sin. What's a sin? It's a sin to have sex with a woman who has a man. That's a sin. It's a sin to be with a prostitute. It's a sin to go down and to have sex with some promiscuous woman, with some woman who's a prostitute, who's a, some type of, I'm trying not to use the words to get me cut off again, but you get the point. Go ahead.
Would that be a whoremonger?
A whoremonger is a pimp. The word monger means purveyor or seller of. You have a fishmonger, a fruitmonger. It's Old English. A whoremonger is a whore seller. You get my point? Find the precept about whoremongering. I believe Christians teach that whoremongering is having sex with women. It is not. Whoremongering is being what we would call today a pimp. It is not a sin for your husband to push thumbs up on a picture. That's not a sin. Now, with that said, with it being said that it's not a sin, it is immature. Do you understand? No, I'm fine. It's immature to do that, right? It's kind of, you're a kid. That's the best thing where I can explain it to you. If you're a brother and you're like, ooh, I like you, thumbs up, hoes, thumbs up. You're a child. You're childish. You understand? Because, of course, she's not going to meet you. You're never going to talk to her. You're not going to get to take her out on a date. You just want to let her know, I see you. I think you're pretty. And then she'll go, oh, he thinks I'm pretty. And then that's that. So you're a child. It's a childish thing to do. Have you sinned? No. There are some things that brothers do that are just childish because they're childish. You understand? They're immature. You don't want to have sex with him. You complain to me about it? I didn't tell you to do it. That's your man. Stand by him. All right, you picked him, right? All right, he's childish. He's a kid. Forget about the video games. I'll go on that for 15 minutes. About the video games. He's on for 15 hours a day. Is it a sin? No, it's not a sin to be on a video game for 15 hours. No, it's immature. It's an immature thing to do, but it's not a sin. And so many sisters, your problem really is you got too much insecurity. And that insecurity is just going to hurt you. You just constantly, you constantly just are threatened by other women. And that's immature. You understand, sisters, right? If you're constantly threatened, he pushed thumbs up on a stranger's video he's never seen, never met her, will never meet her. It's like going to Beyonce and going, thumbs up, Beyonce.